safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Yes, we're here.
Here again.
We're live.
Yes, live.
It's live. Ah, hang on, just a second. Record. Let's do that again. Yes,
Yes.
we're here.
Here.
It's live. It's live. And oh bloody hell! It's gone amber again. Right. I'm just going to stop that other stream. Bloody stupid thing. Right, that's better. Right, we're live. Okay. Hopefully, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch every bit of wood you can find. Last night's stream was solid as a rock with Matt, so we're kind of hoping that we're going to get exactly the same sort of thing tonight. And I've got Sav on full screen. She's there, so you can see, there you are. Hello, Sav. Go back to that. We've got a full screen, so if she gesticulates, you dirty beast. which she did just, and same back to you.
That was a gesticulation.
It was definitely four of them. Yes, if she gesticulates, we'll be able to see. So hopefully everything will run according to Hoyle tonight. That's the idea. Because tonight I'm going to try and put right the wrongs. In other words, stuff that we were supposed to look at and ran out of time on. So I just went, we're going to do one of them. We're going to be having a look at the RBA in the Delta II for the simple reason that I know one or two people have some interest in this, so we're going to have a look at that. And I've got a little bit of something that I want to talk about, right, aside from being on the telly and the news. And somebody's just blown the biggest bloody cloud of vapour. I thought my machine had broken. Oh, here, honestly, look at the state of that, I ask you. So that's what's going to be on the show tonight.
Right.
But that, of course, is after what's commonly known in the trade as the tittles, which are here somewhere. So shall we do what we do?
I think so.
Let's do what we do and start the show and say hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And, boy, that was bassy.
Oh, very bassy.
And welcome to the Haze Hour. Yes, it's all good. And no, nail rough, I'm not reading what you've just written. I'm just not, because that's the way it is. Right, now, look, Keith.
Yes.
Do you think vapors have rights?
Yes.
Hands up, everybody in chat that thinks vapors have rights. I think vapors have rights. I really do think this is not so much a health thing as a rights thing, although it's a health thing as well. So, earlier on today, I'm not going to say chuffed, because that's not the right word, but there was a little flit of, oh, went through my head.
Oh.
You know, you get those little flits of, oh,
yes,
going through your head.
Uh-huh.
Well, a little flit of, oh, went through my head today when I saw this site. Press the right button, David, for God's sake. Right, so this site, it's Vapor Rights, and it says about us and stuff like that, issues get involved. And this is right at the top of the page. It's on the iPad there, look at. So you go and have a look and see what it says about taxes, e-vapor and taxes. Press the button and it loads. And then it says, you know, a growing threat. Many states are trying to add extra taxes to e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes are not cigarettes and should not be taxed the same. We fight unfair tax hikes at the federal, state and local levels, and we inform our members so they can do the same. We believe adults should not have to pay heavy taxes to buy legal products. E-vapor products are not cigarettes and should not be taxed the same way. E-vapor products should not be subjected to additional taxes, are often referred to as excise taxes. They are already subject to state and local sales tax, so this is American, you can tell. And it goes on about Minnesota, which is that blue thing at the top. One of them. One of those two blue things is Minnesota. I don't know which one.
The top one, isn't it?
I have no idea. Yes, it is the top one, because you can tell by looking at that picture
tell
there.
It was American. They can't spell vapor, can
No, they cannot. We put the U back in vapor. And you kind of read through that and you think, oh, this is going to be a good read. And then I don't know why, but I've got this habit of constantly going back to the home page. And I thought, about us. Let's find out about us. So have a look at the e-vapor snapshot. This was all looking good. Right? And then I got down to there, that bottom bit. And this being an iPad, I can make that bigger. Look at that. Copyright 2015 Newmark LLC.
Right.
All rights reserved. And then underneath that, Vapor Rights is operated on behalf of Newmark LLC and Altria Company. Does that mean anything to you, Altria?
It doesn't, no.
Altria, Philip Morris International is part of Altria.
Really?
The biggest tobacco company in the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So here we have this site purporting to be lobbying for vapors' rights, and it is the property of the biggest tobacco company in the world. Now, that you would think, well, fine, at least they've admitted it down on the bottom. Yes?
Not that anybody, or very few people, would notice, would they?
Well, the only people that would notice at the drop of a hat like that would be the kind of people that say that I'm AstroTurf, that Sav's AstroTurf, that Keith's AstroTurf, that we're all bloody AstroTurf. Exactly the kind of people that would say that all vaping activists, all of us that advocate for vapor, are AstroTurf. And that bloody site is set up, I think, to reinforce that opinion. I think that is done for one reason and one reason only, and that is to undermine the good work that we've been doing for I don't know how long. And when I say we, I mean you and Sav and Keith and everybody else that advocates for e-cigs. I think that is what it's there for. It is there to look like a bloody front group. I mean, you've just got to look at it. Look at that. Eh? You know for a certain fact that Altria has got shed loads of money and they can afford to get the most hunky-dunky website you've ever seen in your whole born days. But you get a look at that and you think, bit amateurish, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not all singing and dancing like when you get a look at BAT's website when they're talking about cigarettes and stuff like that. It's not all singing and dancing. It's meant to look like it's been done by a funded front group. I think it's a sham. I think it's a shame. I think it's disgusting. And I sincerely hope that our friends in Anonymous can find some way of taking the bloody thing down. All in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You aye as well, Sav? Aye.
Has that just appeared, has it?
It's just appeared over the last day or two. Shocking. And it's like I say, if it had been up there for the last 18 months or the last 4 years, you would think, well, fair enough. But it hasn't. It's come about at a time when there are more and more accusations of AstroTurf being laid at our door because of the work that's been done in California by Stefan Didak and the people that he's involved with over there. But it was all Stefan coming up with that website. This is just there to try and make us look like AstroTurf. That's my opinion. Now, if that's wrong, Altria is quite at liberty to take me to court and prove otherwise. If that does happen, I'll be crowdfunding me defence, because I'm just a poor lad. No matter what Chris Choi tells you, I'm just a poor lad. Seriously, I am. Right. Look at all the eyes in chat. All the eyes. Look at all those eyes. Brilliant. Rob Tyfee has said, AstroTurf is artificial turf based on the idea of a corrupt grassroots movement. That's exactly what it's about. And I think that's meant to make us look like AstroTurf. And I'm here to tell anybody in tobacco control that's watching, we're not. I can tell you for a certain fact, this whole thing has cost me money personally. I'm well out of pocket with it. I make nothing. And if there's going to be envelopes from Big Vapor or Big Tobacco or Big anybody, I ain't saying any of them. That I'm going to tell you for certain. And I'll tell you something else that really, really, really grinds my gears on this. I'm sorry to rant, but I've got to get this out. We've now got Big Tobacco and Big Pharma singing off the same hymn sheet. They are doing between them one thing and one thing only, and they've dragged tobacco control into it as well. They are all selling cigarettes now. That's all they're doing, because all three of them, Big Pharma, Big Tobacco and Big Tobacco Control, are all doing exactly the same thing. They're all attacking e-cigs all the time. There are certain exceptions, I'll grant that. But certainly in the States, the whole lot of them are just having a go at it all the time. It annoys me. Have you got a thought on it, Keith?
Well, it's America, isn't it?
Well, it's not just America, it's worldwide.
Yes, but I mean, from what you pick up about America, I mean, they take an extreme view on it, don't they?
It's all or nothing.
That's right.
It does seem to be all or nothing over there. I mean, you know, you look at it on the one side, you've got Stefan Didak and his ilk, and he knows exactly where it's at, and as far as I'm concerned, tells the truth the whole time. On the other side of the fence, you've got the likes of Glantz,
yes,
and Ruth Malone and a few others who just don't appear to know what the truth is. In fact, if the truth was to walk up to that pair and go, "Hello, you pair of tobacco controllers, I am the truth and I am in your face," they'd go, "I don't recognise you at all, boy. Have you got an envelope for me with a big check in?" Sorry, annoyed. There you go. Brownie's overslept and he's late to class. Brownie, naughty step. Now, no biscuits. Sharpen the rubbers at break time.
Naughty step.
Yes, absolutely. So, there you go. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that, so at least it's out there and people don't get taken in. I know nobody watching the show would get taken in by it, but get round everybody you know and tell them that vapor rights has got nothing to do with vapors and everything to do with Altria, Philip Morris, Big Tobacco. That's what it's all about. Up until I got into the bath earlier on today, you know, I would have fought Big Tobacco's corner because I hate all this plain packaging and all that kind of crap. I really do. But no, that's turned the corner for me. That's pissing in my milk. That's souring the stream. I do not like that. And I'm sorry for that. Well, I'm not bloody sorry for the language. That's what they're doing. They're pissing in me milk, and I just don't like it. I'm going to take adverts early, and then we'll do a programme that's full of light and joy and you know,
light and joy
and unicorn farts and stuff like that, shall we?
Yes, right.
Adverts early. It just gets you like that every so often. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I've had a canny day today. I got a little bit annoyed yesterday, but I've had a canny day today, and then that comes up out of the blue when they get out of bed across the pond.
Across the pond.
I mean, I haven't seen anything in the Daily Mail over the last few days that's made us bust a blood vessel. Not that I've read it. That's probably why. You know?
I read it one day.
Anything of interest?
Just about Tony Blair.
Oh, right, aye. Adverts back in two, ta-ra.
safercigs.co.uk Sponsors are the Haze Hour.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapors, Dripper just got 40% bigger. So if you love discovering new e-liquids, tell Dripper what flavours you like and we'll send you 70ml of juice and at least 5 flavours. With a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe, dripper.co.uk.
Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
What's in this e-cig cloud? Harmless water vapour, right? Pretty much, yes. Compared to a lit cigarette, it's much safer than smoke. But it contains nicotine, and nicotine on its own isn't toxic and doesn't cause cancer. If you're worried about switching to vapour, here are some facts. No tar, no smoke, no burnt tobacco. Cooking your evening meal produces more toxins than are found in exhaled vapour. Tobacco smoke contains toxins at very high levels, and vapour does not. And that vapour contains 6,000 times less carcinogens than cigarette smoke. Electronic cigarette vapour. There's nothing to be frightened of. The only dangerous electronic cigarette is a banned one.
Safersix.co.uk. Sponsors are the Haze Hour.
And we're back in the room. We're back in the room, Keith. I know it says so because we've just gone live back in the room. Welcome back to the Haze Hour here on the, what is it, the 9th of April?
Yes.
April?
Yes. And the hot weather we've had today, very unseasonal.
It was lovely. I was sat outside filming for ITV News this afternoon.
Yes.
It was just lovely. It was gorgeous.
I saw the cameraman arrive and a boy with glasses with him.
The boy was a man. He had stubble.
Did he?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he had stubble. He had better stubble than Ridian and Mina put together. And that's not saying an awful lot, let's be honest. You know, we're going to have to go down and take their DNA 40s off them, I think.
So did he do the interview, the boy?
Yes, he asked the questions and the cameraman, believe it or not, took the video. It'll be on again at 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, right.
Might be a longer version of it because we're there for an hour and a bit. And there was about 30 seconds, if that. So, yeah, ugly mug on the telly, what can I tell you? Shall we do this?
Yes.
Do you fancy a snooze day?
Oh, it's one of the... Oh, right.
Yes, it's one of those.
Okay.
I'll just widen the Pikachu out a little bit, otherwise it'll all go to hell in a handcart. Here I have, he said, switching to the right camera, the RBA section for the Delta II tank. And I'll show you my other Delta II that's not RB8, right? So that's the Delta II tank from Joytech. One of Sab's favourites, this.
Is it?
She loves it. And rightly so, because it is a cracking atty. But this is the RBA unit that comes with it, he said, unscrewing it and trying to get it at the centre of the camera. I'll get this right tonight because I'm going to put a big nail through my wrist just there. It's actually not a bad little piece of kit to get into, even with slippy fingers, look. Knurled top, off it comes. Chimbly comes off like that. And there's the build deck. I'll zoom down on that a little bit. Whoa, there, do. Zoom. Come in, you pig. There you go. That's the build deck. Still a bit juicy. The good bit about this build deck is that it's got little holes for clasping your wire in. Do you like a small hole to clasp your wire in?
Oh, definitely.
I
wouldn't be without it.
Well, I'm a big fan of a tight fit in a small hole.
Yes.
I think it gives you much better contact, and the better the contact, the.
I'm with you.
Good
yes.
lad. Good lad. And it's that, I've forgotten the name of that stuff, the insulation, but it's the stuff that doesn't melt when you put cinnamon juice on it.
Right.
Which is a good thing. However, if you're coiling one of these things up, you can have a few issues.
Oh.
Now, the pre-supplied coils that you get are a doddle. And I tried always to go my own way, you know how you do, wrapping it round a former and then shoving it through the holes, tightening it up, and I was getting it all over the place. So I had a bit think, as you do, and I've come up with something. So I thought I would do this live. Right, that is a bolt.
Yes.
And you can see I've wrapped a coil around it, and I'm going to show it's dead easy to do. It is really easy to do. I'll just unscrew the bolt. You didn't pull it, obviously. And whoops, there you can see. Look, you can see what it looks like. If I stand it on its little legs, it looks even better. And I thought I might share with people how to do it, because it's actually quite easy.
So the advantage in doing that to using a pre-supplied coil?
You can wind this to suit yourself. You can use whatever gauge wire you want. You can use however many turns you want. You can get the resistance exactly as you want it. That's the word of the day.
Right.
Yes, not taking the mickey, Sav. It's right. You can get it exactly right. And because of these little leggy things that I've bent onto it, it's dead easy. As you'll be able to see if I get this in the right place. I'll just put this on and then I'll show you separately how to do it. You can just, I wish my eyesight was better. You can just slide it in, which apparently is always good. So you slide that one in and screw it down. And then you slide the other one in, and because the way I've done it, you get the legs of equal length.
Is that coming up on there?
Whoops. Thanks, Keith. Got a producer and a director tonight.
Oh, God.
There you are. So you can just slide the legs in, and then your coil, I'll tighten that down, sits centrally. Obviously, for final furtling, I should never do these things live, should I? Because I did it about 10 times in practice just to make sure I could do it, and then you go to do it live, and now you're going to bugger it up. Right, that's it. Stop it. And then screw the blood thing in, David. That's it. Just to grip the wire. It's not as fiddly as it looks, it really isn't. And once you've got it all, the idea is to wind the coil to be the same width as the deck. Really.
You're coming off.
I'm off again.
Dave.
Sorry, thank you. Now, for the benefit of those watching here in black and white, Sav actually sees this in real time because I've worked a new system out to do that. Right, there we go. So that's now well above the deck, which means I'm going to get good airflow. There you are. So that just wants a bit of cotton in. So a little bit of cotton goes in, and then I'll assemble it and put it into the Delta, and off we'll go. Right, so there we go. Right. Now what I've found easiest is to screw the chimney over the cutting wheel, and then fasten it all down, making sure you've got no shorts, but that's easily seen when you've got it all. I'm all fingers and thumbs tonight, but I've got that upside down. No, I haven't. Yes, there we go. Come on. You know how I keep saying I ought to pre-record these? I ought to pre-record these. Right, So I'll get my little stabber and stab the cutting in. As you can see, it goes in quite easily. Stab it down. And just pull it up so it's touching the tops of the coils. All in place. Nicely done. And a gob of juice on it. Get it in the middle, David. Not ignoring your chat, I've just got to constipate on what I'm doing. And then the little top thing goes on. And then I'll stick it onto a device. Now, I should point out, this is nickel. So obviously, it's going to go on, and I'm sorry to say it, a bearded man's mod. That's what it's called these days. First, obviously, you've got to put it back into the base. And what I've found, this is my own personal experience, with slippy fingers, it's not a bad idea just to snug it up with a pair of plug-in filters, which is the proper term for what other people call pliers. And let's see what we've got. This should come out at about an ohm, 0.1 ohm. Says check atomizer, that's too low, or it's not screwed in properly. One way or the other. Let's go back to Davy Cam for the minute. And I'm just going to tighten this down because it does want to be snug. Right. New coil. It is. And it's 0.14. Right, let's get the closey uppy cam where people can see. There it is. Closey uppy cam. Press the button. 0.14. You say that? 0.14. It's upside down. You yes. Dicky Dawn. 0.14. So now, all I need to do is stick it back into the Delta II. So it's actually quite easy to work with. I've done this in nickel because I like nickel, but the supply coils that you get that are pre-made are also pretty good, depending of course on whether that's going to give you what you want for a vape. Let's give it a blast, shall we? No idea what camera I'm on. Oh, it's that one. Right, go there. Black. You'll be alright having a go at this.
Will I?
That's rather nice, that. I'll need to turn it down a little bit for you though, because your mouth, you won't lung inhale it, will you?
No.
So I'll take it down to about 14 watts. And then close the air off a little bit. Hey, have a try of that. Like a smoky shaft in here. Sorry, a vapoury shaft in here. You're making it whistle, Keith. I thought that was only me that did that.
Can't be whistle proof. Yeah.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll work. I've got to be careful how I say this. It swings both ways. It's bi-directional. You can use it at low wattage and you can use it at high wattage, and you can vary the airflow to suit yourself. But obviously, if you're going to use it with restricted airflow, you've got to knock the wattage down for an ordinary mouth inhale.
What was that set at?
That's set at 14 watts. I'll whack it back up to the full 30, 35. Where are we at? Doink 30, that'll do 30-ish. And open it up all the way. The airflow is not bad. And it does seem to produce quite nicely. Shall I do that again?
Yes.
I'll do that again. There you are, camera's 8 foot away. It's canny, that, isn't it?
It is, if you like that sort of thing, yeah.
Well, I do like that sort of thing, it's rather nice. So that's it. Now, the thing about the bolt, the only thing you've got to remember about using a bolt for making this, and it's dead quick to make this this coil, you're going back against the grain because it's a right-handed thread. So you just need to get it in the middle, David. Take it round until you've got it into the groove. Get into the groove. And you just wind it round as many times as you want. and the bolt kind of guides it. So your first wind here is a sacrificial wind. So all you do is you just put your thumb on, unwind it, straighten it off. Then here's the clever part. This is where the plug-in filters come in.
Move it down a bit, Dave.
Sorry, thank you. Right. This is where the plug-in filters come in, because what you need to do then is grab it across the bolt with your plug-in filters and bend the leg so it goes up the coil towards the other end of the coil.
Down a bit.
And then you snip so that it'll fit into your receptacle quite nicely, and then do the other in the other direction. Just like that. I'm doing this at arm's length, and I've got me seeing glasses, not me looking glasses on. So there it is. There's your coil sat on your bolt, and all you then need to do is grab the legs. I've got to be really careful, because what I have been doing is grabbing the legs and just widening them out a little bit, but I daren't say that, otherwise Sav will start laughing and she'll gesticulate. We can't have gesticulations going on. Try and get it so you can see what I'm doing. And then literally that's how you do it. So you could, in theory, if you were going away on holiday,
The bolt's a good idea.
I think it's a brilliant idea. If you were going away on holiday, there you have it, look, there it is, made, and it's got the little leggies on so you can get it through the hole. And obviously you can decide for yourself how long those legs are, so you can use that technique and use a graduated plier and work out where you need to have it on the or what do you call it, the nose, the snipe of the plier, for the length that you want that bit of wire to be to fit into the holes. So you could quite easily sit and make yourself a couple of dozen if you were going away for a fortnight or 3 weeks.
Yes.
So you had spares with you. That's how it's done. It's clever, that, isn't it?
Very.
It's amazing what you can do with geometry, I find.
Geometry.
Oh yes, I'm very keen on geometry. I always was. That was how it was invented by the Red Indians, you know.
Was it?
Yeah. It was invented by the Red Indians so they could deal with the population explosion that they were having, and so that the chiefs of the native Indian tribes in America could choose their wives really carefully. And what they did was they put the 3 wives that they were choosing between with their kids on the 3 sides of a triangle.
Right.
And they always tended to choose the one that was opposite the right angle, because the squaw on the hippopotamus is always up.
Where the hell do you get them from?
We'll take the second set of adverts. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Gee whiz.
Safercigs.co.uk sponsors of the Haze Hour.
RY4 Radio. Vapotech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And we're back in the room. We are.
Yes.
Back in the room. Slightly earlier than forecast.
Surrounded by wire.
Surrounded by... I'll zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out. And hit number 4. And chuck some bits out of the way. And people were asking in chat what gauge wire that was. That was this, which is 0.3...
Upside down.
All the way up, David. It's 0.35. That one was done in 0.35. You can use any gauge that you like. And it works as well with Canthal as it does with nickel. There's the 0.3 nickel, which I haven't used yet. Now, and I've got some 0.25 Canthal, and I've got 29. I don't know what a 29 AWG is, right? I've got no clue. I think it's about 0.3, about 0.335, something like that. I tend to work in centimetres and millimetres and stuff like that, rather than the Fahrenheit of the AWG gauges.
So you're saying the gauge of the wire makes no difference?
No, it does make a difference, but not to winding the coil.
Right.
It makes a difference because the rule of thumb is very, very simple. The rule of thumb is so simple. The thinner the wire, the higher the resistance. That's the way it works. So if you've got big, thick wire,
yes,
that's thick as a bull's lug, it'll be lower resistance than something that's as thin as a thin thing.
Right.
So if you've got, for instance, 0.15 nichrome, remember that, Sav? 0.15 nichrome. That's hair fine almost. And you would use maybe 2 wraps, and that would give you an ohm and a half, 1.5 ohms.
Right.
But if you use 0.25, it might give you an ohm. If you use 0.4, that'll be down to 0.2 ohm for the same number of wraps. There or thereabouts. It does kind of bring home the need to know your gauges, I suppose. But yes, and they wanted to know what size the bolt was. Right, let's go back there, close you up, you can, and zoom it down. I'll be absolutely honest, because I don't see any point in telling porkies. My name's not Glance. That's an M4 bolt. I've got no idea what pitch the thread is, but it seemed to be about the same sort of size as the 0.35 Canthal. I just went into the garage and fiddled about in my bolt drawer and worked out what size bolts I had that would stay underneath the height of the RBA unit, because obviously I don't want it to touch the top and I don't want it to be resting on the deck. I want it clear of the deck so the airflow goes over better and you get better airflow over the coil that way. So just have a bit play with bolts. Find one that's got a thread that's roughly equal. I mean, if you look, there's the 0.35 and there's the threads. Put it over where people can see, David, you plonker. If you look there, you can see that 0.35 is about the same sort of size as the thread.
Yes.
And it fits in there really nicely. And that was why I decided to do it that way. As I say, the only other thing to remember is it's lefty tighty, righty loosey, so it goes round in the opposite direction to the way you would screw a bolt in, basically. And I know, get it back in picture, Sav was gesticulating, dirty beast. And it's as easy as that. It really is as easy as that. And what it does mean, for nickel particularly, means that you get that spacing between the coils. And I think the spacing between the coils is quite important because it allows the vapour to come up between them and it doesn't squirt it off to the sides.
Very technical.
Slightly. Now then, Leanna Lawless, who is right on topic here, has just said a litre is more than a pint. Lee, you get a Nobel Prize for that, pet. Because there's not a lot of people who know that. A litre is more than a pint. Bloody hell. Oh, I'm going to have a drink now. That's taken me aback, it really has. I mean, people coming up with things like, it's so,
revealing.
Oh, so profound.
Profound.
So profound.
That's the word.
Profound. Never seen anything as profound in my life. Yes, wire gauge. Does anybody know of any US vendors that post to the UK? Depends what you're looking for, Sleep Trees. Type into chat, we'll find out. Yes.
Because Americans don't know proper measuring.
Well, no, they do, because proper measuring's Fahrenheit and miles, and they use Fahrenheit and miles. It's just that we've been propagandised into using centifarad and those the short things.
The EU.
EU. Aye. Get out the EU.
All our road signs will be the next thing.
Oh, Nicky's got it. Look, a litre of water is a pint and 3/4. And I went out with the publican's daughters. A litre of water is a pint and 3/4. It's not quite 2 pints. It's like a kilogram's 2.2 pounds. Did you know that?
Yes.
It's a bag of sugar. Yes, very boring's got it right. DD only does liquids in yards. Too right. It's exactly the right way. Do you know something? Did I tell everybody about this homebrew cider? Did I tell you about it? What's the name of the place again?
The Range.
The Range. If you've got a range near you, go to the Range and get yourself one of these homebrew cider kits. I'm telling you, man, it's like space juice. It is. It's
quite
rocket,
nice.
It's bloody rocket fuel, this stuff. 2 pints of this now. Everybody's, don't mind anybody's. In fact, women would have to beat us off with a stick.
What's the strength, do you know?
I don't know. It hasn't melted the glass, that's all I know. I don't care. And I want you to note, it's not in bloody standardised glasses either. We're not having plain glasses here. It's proper pint glass that a man can get his hand round.
The thing I like about it, because I'm not a cider drinker, is that it's not sweet. Got a nice sharpness about it.
It is. It's tangy. It's nice. It slips down the throat a treat, doesn't it? Lubricates your tonsticles.
Yes. Nice.
It's keeping me happy as a pig in
Have you got much left?
Oh, there's enough to keep me going until Saturday. I'll be putting another lot on. I'm going to go and get another lot, and I'm going to put another lot on because of the warm weather. It'll go faster. Brew faster.
You didn't spike the sugar enough. Wasn't that what you said?
For the bubbles.
Yes.
I didn't put enough sugar in the bottles, which is fine. Hello. Disco Des is going outside because the International Space Station's going over.
Oh, fascinating.
That's down in London where he's at. Yes. Paul Robinson 804 has said proper scrumpy. It's right, it is. By God, it's got a hell of a kick to it. I used to think cider was pop when I was a young'un. That's not. Yes. Those people in health control and alcohol control and stuff like that. There you go.
Apparently it dissolves your teeth.
Where you see that like? That was chocolate that did that. That was that. Yeah, right. Shall we go on? Shall we move?
Yes.
You might remember I did have it. Oh Lord, we've only got a quarter of an hour left, so this is going to have to be fairly quick. The Arctic tank. Let's get closely up, Cam. I want to try and go through this, and I should have prepped it up better, but I haven't. I apologise. I'll zoom out because that's going to be way too big. I'm not going to be able to work in that small distance. Arctic tank. Here we go. Right now. Thing you need to know about this is it is a sub tank that has the airflow of a jet engine. That's the bottom turbo dual coil that fits in it. You can tell it's a bottom turbo dual coil because it says BTD. Say or not, I don't know. Can you say that? Get it in the shadow, then they can. There you are. Go in the middle, David. This is. I'm going to have to put a target on this thing, you know, so I can see where to put things.
Yes.
My hand-eye coordination's all gone to pot. Apparently I just can't get my finger in the right place.
You need to put a cross on your white mat or something. Oh.
That's one way of looking at it. Jill's given me other advice, but I can't repeat that here. This is 0.2 ohms, this one.
Is it?
But I got the other ones at 0.6 ohms, which I actually prefer. But the construction of this thing is pretty damn good. It's quite familiar in many ways, but you can completely, need a cloth. And that's it, wire all over the floor. Why not? Right, cloth time. I always use a cloth because I've got very slippy fingers. I don't know why. It's because they get well lubricated. Right, there we go. It will completely disassemble, which I think, oops, I've spilled my juice on the table. Well, have you heard that before, Keith? This is your base piece, and you'll discover that the threading, when it connects, is in the bottom here. You see the threads down there? Use a pointer, David. There's the threads down there, look. So this screws onto the threaded section on here, right? And when you put it back together, obviously you're going to be able to get replacement glasses for it. You'll see there's a threaded section in the top, threaded section in the top. So you just put those two together, screw it up, get it as tight as you like. And this is one of those times when tight is better. Give us a time when tight is not. I do like a tight fit. A good tight screw is what you need. I'm channeling Gary Dibley tonight. So just screw it until it stops. That's the easiest way. You know how these coils go in, but I want you to have a look down the centre of that and look at how wide that is, and then look at how much, because this is the other one, there's 4 of those bloody great big holes there.
Oh, yes.
That's airflow, that is. That's what that is. That is airflow, right? For comparison, oh, it's the same one. That's what I've used earlier. I haven't got any aspires or anything like that handy, but for comparison, the airflow holes are nowhere near as big as that. You're just not going to get the amount of airflow, and you can see the size of the hole going up the middle. So again, airflow, lots and lots of airflow. The only bugbear I've got with this, and it's really not that much, is that it's a little bit of a bugger to fill, because you've got to get the end of your doobry in that slot, which is why I've taken to use a hypodermic with this,
Right.
because I can get it in easier. And I've always said the easier you can get it in, the more fun you're going to have when you're pumping the juice out.
So a small bottle would be no good for that.
A snipe nose bottle's probably good, and you can fill it until, as you can see here, it's just getting on top of that little metal bit. Take no notice when they say don't do it. Do it. And let's put the thing back in. It screws together nicely. You don't get any of that O-ring hubris going on. And again, airflow. You saw that the coil had 4 air holes in, and so has the Arctic tank itself. And they are adjustable, as you can see, and they are big, right? You can, and I'll go to camera 2, even with it out on without it on a mod, you can breathe. Luke, I am your father. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. Right, let's stick it on a devoose. Now, this thing will quite happily run at the full 40 watts that I can get out of this RDNA 40. So let's do that. I've got it locked at 35, but I'm going to bang it up to the full 40, and I'll prove it, because I'll put it on camera and show you. There you are, look. Full 40, won't go any further, just so everybody knows, because we never cheat, unless I'm playing cards, in which case don't play, you'll lose all your money. I do. It's because I cheat, never mind. Oh yes, new coil, thank you. Right, here we go.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Oh hell yes. And I've shown this before, I've done this before, I'll do it again. just to show you how much this thing will do. And bear in mind, what was that look for, Sav? Bear in mind, this juice is as close to 100% VG as I can get. Right? But watch. 40 watts. Right?
Right.
Smells like a nightclub in here now. I'm just going to give it a second, because that was quite a long blow, and then give it a drag. There you are.
Bloody hell.
That is how well this Arctic tank wicks. Does that impress you, Keith? I'm going to try and put Keith on camera. Look at the state of that. Deary me. Yes. Just go back to the head camera. Look at the state of that here. Camera one on, Dave. Tell you what, look at it. It's like being in a disco. That's how well it works, people. That is how well it works. Now, I am told, and I've tried this, with a 0.2 ohm coil in it, it'll take 100 watts. I've done it once. I won't be doing it again. It worked. It didn't burn. I didn't get anything nasty out of it, but it was bloody hot. And seriously, you couldn't take anything of a short drag with it. Well, of a long drag with it, you know, if you wanted to do a long drag thing, because it would just do you. It would, bloody hell, I can't even see the screen.
I mean, it's hanging, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you look?
It's hanging,
It's
it
like
is.
a bloody sheet.
It's just like being in a smoky shaft, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Yes, it might. Dr. Cronenberg's just said, look at that cloud above DD, precipitation next. It's about ready to rain, I think. Hang on, I've got to do something. If I put closey uppy cam on, you know, oh, all right, that's closey uppy cam's going through. It's the bottom turbine dual coil, the Arctic tank, and it is from Horizon Tech, right? Horizon-sig.com. I'm gonna say, good lord, hang on a minute. I've got to sort this out.
It won't go away, will it?
That's ridiculous. That's the kind of thing that gets you barred out of pubs, I think. Go away. That's a bit better.
Really gone.
If you're using one in your local hostelry, tell them to turn the aircon on and open all the bloody windows. This thing kicks it out. Now, I very, very rarely recommend anybody gets anything, but if you can lung and you like the lung and you like a lot of vapour, go and get one. It's a Horizon Tech Arctic tank. I think they're fabulous. I've got two. That's how good they are, and I'm going to buy some more, so I've got some spares. Yes, and that's taking us up to 7 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock.
It has.
I'm going to have another big draft.
Oh God.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to that camera over there, and I can tell you now, I'm 7 foot 9 inches away from the camera, right?
Are you?
So this is, I am. I measured it the other day. 7 foot 9 inches, 7 foot 6 inches now. Right, make it 8 foot, right? 8 foot, here we go. White out from 8 feet away. Keith, do you want to go, son?
No, definitely not. No, I'll give you that pleasure.
Sweetness and light, I'm telling you. There you go. Do they do nickel ones, DD Monster Rob? I said no. I have not seen nickel coils for them yet. However, it is on my list of things to do to get the right sized bolt, and it's going to be fairly easy to find, and then try and do a nickel wind dual turbo coil on it. It's not going to be easy, but I'm determined. I'm going to set myself the challenge. I am going to say this though, it will be pre-recorded, because there's no way I'm going to be able to do it in a 20-minute segment on this show, because you know what I'm like. I am a klutz. Fat lad, big gob, fat fingers to match. I really am. So there you go. Chief Keith's got it right in chat. He says just do a search for Arctic Tank. Do it. Do it now. Well, not now. Do it at 10 o'clock when the show's finished. That's after you've watched ITV News. You might say somebody on there you recognise. Spot the Arctic Tank on the piece. It was in at 6 o'clock. It might be in even further at 10 o'clock. I don't know. It might be a little bit longer. We're just about there. Is there anything you want to say to anybody, Keith?
I don't think so. No.
Go on.
I'm very quiet tonight. I've just
You are?
been, yes.
I should have given you a pint of the cider.
No.
I think so. I'm going to ask Sav. Put your volume on, Sav.
What?
Do you fancy an Arctic Tank?
I do, yes, I do.
Because you like lugging it, don't you?
So they've just come out, have they?
They haven't been out long, have they?
It's not long, no. No, 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. They're not massively everywhere, but I think they will be. A cracking piece of kit, they really are.
Yes, I do fancy one of them.
Yes. Very boring said he thinks that the head uses dual vertical coils. It does. Actually, I tell you what, because I started taking one to bits the other day, so let's do some close-up cam stuff, and then I'll see if I can get this close up enough that you can make stuff out. Right. I tell you, you know you've got good airflow when you can get a screwdriver through it. Look at that. See that? Penetration. I'm just going to pull that bit out. And if you look inside, if I get the angles on this right, and it's not going to be easy to do, you can see, right, you might be able to see. Can you see just at about 10 o'clock, as you're looking at it, you can just see a little bit of insulation on the leg that goes up to the top coil. That's the positive leg that goes up to the top coil. You can just see it at around about between 9 and 10 o'clock. Yes. There's a little bit of insulation there, which is attention to detail. But you can definitely see that there's 2 wires in the pause. And if I swizzle it round a little bit, the parrots have heard us, have they?
Yes, I just turned you off there because the parrots are like, oh, I know that one.
And you can just see there, I can't get any closer, I'm really sorry, but you can just see 2 bits of wire sticking out there. So it's definitely dual vertical coils. And looking at the way that that bottom end, I mean, just look at the size of the air hole there. It's huge. That is ginormous. So I'll shove that back in because I don't want to knacker that coil because it's a good one. Yes, I really rather like that. I really do. It's good. Works well. Works very well. Really does. And with that, I think what I need to do is let you know what's coming up over the next week or two. Well, it's the usual. I know what I'll do. This got absolutely bollocks last week. I went away to the Isle of Wight, as you might be aware, and while I was there, I shot a little bit of video. It's nothing sparkling and it's very short, but it does feature somebody I like an awful lot and something that I cannot stand. See if you can spot which.
Hello everybody, we just met Dave in the Isle of Wight, random, totally random.
Hailing travel services, this is what it says. Look at it, 20 cigarettes cost £2, using e-cigs, local area, tastes and smokes like a cigarette. So no wonder we don't like them.
Oops, hell around. Sorry. Somebody been vaping in here. You'd think somebody been vaping, wouldn't you?
You would.
That's terrible. I think all
Think
that...
of the fire engines coming in the street.
Hello, Dave the Rayon's just done a bolt coil. 3.4mm diameter, 5 wines, 0.3 nickel on a sub-tank OCC, 0.14 ohms. It's very nice. There you go. Do you know something? That's just made my night. That's cracking. Dave the Rayon, go to the top of the class. You can be milk monitor for a week. That's how good that is. We need to say night, Keith.
Yes.
As ever, it's a pleasure to share the last hour with you and with all of you. It's been cracking. It really has. Thank you so much for joining us and for watching us. If you have been. If you haven't, I'm not talking to you. Until we see you next time, on the flip side, from all of us here, from Sav, from Keith, from me, from the rest of the VTTV team that's in chat and holding hands and doing all of that kind of stuff, vape on! Vape hard! Like this. And don't let the bastards grind you down! Till we see you next time. Cheery bye. Good night. Take care of each other. Ta-da! Bye-bye!
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.